Hey YouTubers, Grimmy Dragon here, and once again it's review time, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Power of the Primes, Rodimus Prime. Yeah, I'm finally looking at one of the leader class figures, and so far I only got Rodimus, but hopefully soon I'll get Optimus. But in any case, Rodimus Prime in his Space Winnebago mode, and it looks pretty good. Nice and long. And the colors are pretty good. The front part is a lighter shade of red than the top part, and there is a reason why. I'll get into that a little later. But I do like the burgundy and the orange here, and the nice silver smokestack, which is a point of contention that I've heard a lot of people talk about. I'll get into that later. As you can see, you can store the weapons on the top if you want to, but I'm going to take them off right now to get a clearer look at the vehicle mode. As you can see, he rolls very nicely, which is good. All 6 wheels seem to roll. The hood detail is very much hot rod, and that matches the G1 hot rod detail pretty well, although yeah, he is missing the engine, which is a shame, but, you know, this is Rodimus Prime, not Hot Rod, so that's okay. For now. Now, the details here are stickers, much like G1, but since it's on a hinge, you can tell that they're fraying already. This is a bit of a downer, especially since the sticker does actually look nice. I'm sad to see it fray up so easily. Hopefully Repro Labels can do something about that. And on the other side you can see it's fraying up just as much, which is a shame. But other than that, he does look good, although I am sad about no painted hubcaps. That's always bad. Need to paint those hubcaps! But yeah, you got your Autobot symbol here, you got it on the hood. He looks nice. So let's get some comparisons in real quick, and we're going to start off with G1 Rodimus Prime, the original Space Winnebago. And yeah, the similarities are there. You got the orange bottom with the big flame. It's a lot bigger on this one, although you're missing this orange detail on the top, which is a shame. But I can live with it. Still, I like this one. And yeah. And of course, we have to compare it to Fans Project Protector, the 2006 Rodimus figure with the add-on that came out in 2010. And this is still a really nice set. And I would say this guy even takes some notes from it. So, yeah. Now this is a little bit slimmer, a little more compact. This one's bigger, bulkier. Has a little bit more going on top. And all in all, they both look pretty good. And this one's got more premium to it, so that's why it's got better paint. Still, this is quite the nice little toy. And it has an extra feature of an evolution gimmick, so it can also be Hot Rod instead of Rodimus Prime if you want. And since it's going to be easier to go through Hot Rod's motions in between Rodimus Prime's vehicle and robot modes, we're going to just go to Hot Rod now. And that's easy enough to do. First, you just flip these out. Press these in to get the smokestacks off, like so. It's a little easier the first time, but you can just flip these out. You can pull the trailer off, flip the smokestacks back, or the exhaust pipes, and there you got yourself a nice looking hot rod figure or vehicle, which is really cool. I do like that feature. I think it looks really nice, and I'm quite impressed that they managed to get Hot Rod to have the trailer function that Optimus had, because that's actually what it does. And now the vehicle mode does look nice. It's a very sleek car. This is why I'm a little upset about the engine block being missing, but it is what it is. Considering everything this is trying to accomplish, I can let that slide. Now you can see he's very sleek, very thin. He definitely has that future car look, and I like it. I like it quite a bit. I think they did a good job. So let's get some more comparisons in. We'll bring back Classics 2006 Rodimus, of course, because, you know, may as well. We'll bring in both the Hasbro and Takara versions of Titan's Return Hot Rod, because they're both really awesome. And naturally, we gotta bring in G1. So yeah, it's a whole Rodimus palooza. Yep, a Rodapalooza. And yeah, we got all of them. They all look good. And Power of the Prime's Hot Rod actually looks good with them. He fits in just fine. So it's a serviceable hot rod vehicle mode. No complaints. Except for no painted hubcaps. I won't let that go. Yeah. But in any case, it is a nice hot rod, and I'm quite pleased with him. So let's get him into robot mode and see if that lives up just as much. So let's see. For this, it's actually pretty easy. We'll move these back here, so like that. And then this is the tricky part, because these are in tight. But you're supposed to pull them up and down, like so. Then you pull down this part and rotate out the head. And then you just pop it back in. You got the upper half mostly done. Here's another tricky part though. But you gotta free up the legs just by turning them around, really. Then lift up the panels, flip out the feet, rinse and repeat. And last but not least, you flip this back part up, rest the spoiler around his back, and you got Hot Rod in his robot mode. And he's tall, and I like him. I do like him. He looks decent. I mean, serviceable at least. So yeah, the robot mode does look great. If a bit flawed, you know, it's not a perfect hot rod. Not sure it would beat out the Titan's Return release or the Legends release. It's certainly not a masterpiece, but it is still a good hot rod. And I do like it. I mean, I love the fact that they actually have them with black shins. That is very good. Very cartoon accurate. His big arm exhaust pipe cannons are a little bigger than they should be. As you can see, they kind of stick out farther than the hand, which is a shame, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And all the details that really should be there are there, including the spoiler. A detail that they often miss or mess up. He does have his spoiler proper. And the face is actually quite nice. It is a very good hot rod face. So I am very pleased with that. So looking at articulation, he does have left and right swivel at the head, which is good. No ball joint movement, unfortunately, but he does have enough. He does have ball jointed shoulders, in and out movement going that far, double jointed elbows, which is good. The bottom is a ball joint, so he does have bicep swivel. No waist, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But he does have forward backward movement at the hips, in and out. This can go up for more movement, but it gets stopped right there still. So he can't fully sit down, unfortunately. Does have a little less than 90 at the knee. Has a good amount of ankle movement and thigh swivel. So not bad as far as articulation goes. And let's just take a look at his weapons. He has two pair of pistols, which is nice. Although this one here does go up a little bit higher than it should, really. At least as far as I feel. Because it does hinder the elbow movement a little bit more than the other one does. Which is a shame, but it is what it is. And he does look good holding them. So let's bring in the comparisons. And before I get into the other hot rods, let's get into an important one. Galvatron. And as you can see, Galvatron is quite a bit taller than Hot Rod. And if it was just, you know, if you have him as Hot Rod, that's fine. That works. Of course, given that the Rodimus part would be a leader, I would have wanted to have this guy be my Rodimus Prime on its own and be about the same size as Galvatron, which, you know, that's not going to happen like this. And you'll see why the full combine mode doesn't really work either in a moment. So, yeah, that's a bit of a letdown. Still, put them with Ultra Magnus here, because, you know, they are pretty much together a lot when on the show. They do scale well together like this. Again, Hot Rod is a little shorter than Rodimus Prime. So, yeah. So you got that. And now on to the Rodapalooza again. So, yeah, we'll start off with G1 just so you can see where the guns came from. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Definite upgrade from that. And then we'll get to Legends and Titan's Return. Hot Rod. No guns on them, but yeah, they do. I still think they look a little bit better than this one. Although, again, his spoiler is better. Of course, you can also, if you desire, since it's the same connection, put Firebolt with this Hot Rod. No problem there. Fits in very easily. And it's secure. And last but not least, we'll put Classics Rodimus with him. As you can see, big upgrade in the size. And honestly, this hot rod is an easy upgrade to the little Classics Rodimus. Of course, Protector is still going to be taller, and I'll probably sneak a picture in right here showing how Fans Project Protector looks with the little Rodimus, or little hot rod. But yeah, that's something that's worth noting. So there's that. Now it's time to get this Rodimus Prime upgrade all the way up. So we're going to start by getting him ready, and that's actually pretty easy. First, we want to flip this around back and flip it like so. We'll flip down this and put it the way it should be. Actually, yeah, it should be like that. So, no, this is right. Sorry, I'm getting a little disoriented on this part. But we flip this up, just like we were going back to vehicle mode. Although, yeah, I will admit, this part's a little tougher than going to robot mode. Because these parts are very stiff going in. And we just fold these parts down. Bring out the legs like so. And then we'll flip this part down to reveal Rodimus's head. Flip these up. Oh, don't forget to put the feet back in. And these will actually click into place like so. So, yeah. So again, feet go in, rotate, click in, flip that up, and you got the chest piece done. Might have to leave it like this for now, because now we have to go into this part. And the first part we're going to do is to pull these up. Pull that out. And these will form the arms. So we split them. And flip this part around. And very carefully rotate these smokestacks in place. You want to be careful about this part because there have been reports of the pins not being in right and the smokestacks ending up shearing off when you try to turn them. So do it very carefully. If there's a good bit of resistance, then stop. You've probably got a bad one. So yeah, just be careful with that. And you also want to rotate the fist a little bit. Rinse and repeat. I got lucky with mine, so yeah, mine are actually, they move quite easily. But yeah, we got the arms done. Now the legs. So we flip these out, flip out the heels. And we flip these parts in. Oh yeah. And they are tightly pegged to the back part, which we're going to open up because we got to rotate that and that. Okay, then you flip this around like so. Rotate the legs down, stand him up. Back up and adjust the camera because he's getting big. And yeah, you can see the matrix of leadership right there, which I will actually remove so we can look at that in a moment. But yeah, it goes right in there. Okay, so, and yeah, separate the legs. And there you have the lower half of the torso. Yes, he's a parts former. Get used to it. So we slide this in. Well, we try to slide it in without hold on a sec. Another thing to be careful about. This mushroom peg slips out very easily. And while that's good because it avoids breaks, it's bad because it can cause problems later on, like I am doing now. But you just slide that in, clip Hot Rod's crotch to the thing, which is kind of disturbing to say, honestly, but yeah. And then you just fold the chest in. Oh. Like so. And last but not least, the arms, which are actually pretty easy to do. They just clip in there. And clip in there, and yeah, we're done. Yay. Rodimus is fully transformed into his prime mode. And yeah, Rodimus does look good. Let me get him straightened out a little bit here. Now, looks like I didn't quite get him clipped in enough either. There we go. So now he's fully clipped in, fully transformed. He looks good. I am quite pleased with him. And yes, he is a big boy. And let's just get the comparison out of the way for this one. We'll put him next to Ultra Magnus. And yeah, he's a bit taller than Magnus, which is not good. Let me just get everybody a little situated better, but yeah, unfortunately he is a bit taller than Ultra Magnus, and that's a bit of a problem. He's a bit out of scale with the other figures. It's unfortunate, but true. That's why I wish the Hot Rod robot was a little bit bigger. But yes, he does come with a matrix, which is nice. And yeah, it's a little bit of a yellow plastic for the bit, and then you got a blue, light blue, like a clear blue plastic for the actual matrix itself. You get it in the right light, it'll light pipe a bit, but it takes a lot of light to do that, unfortunately. But it is a nice little feature. And since this is pretty much Prime Master compatible, like this is where the Prime Master gimmick comes into play, this little matrix thing, you can take out the matrix, and this you can put into any Prime armor from the Voyagers or Deluxes if you want. Like, say, you want to give the matrix to Starscream. You can plug it in just as easily as you would any of the others. Although, in this case, it falls out very easily, unfortunately. But it also means you can plug any Enigma or Prime Master into the casing. So we'll take my Cronus Prime here, and we will plug him in to make Rodimus's matrix the Micronus matrix. So yeah, you can do that. You can plop it in and pretend he has prime powers, which is pretty nice. And yeah, you can make him hold any of the Prime Master weapons if you want. They fit in just fine. They actually look pretty good in his hand. I have to admit that much. But if you are lacking Prime Masters and Prime Master weapons, he does still have these two pistols that combine into Rodimus Prime's rifle. And that is very fitting. And it is a very good looking Rodimus Prime, very beefy, very bulked up. And yeah, that face is very much Rodimus Prime, where he aged quite a bit. Spoiler's a little small though, but at least you can see it. And I like that. So, all in all, that part works great. That really does. So let's get another comparison in. Oh, before we do, actually, let's go to articulation. You do got like forward, backward at the shoulders. They do have universal, but they go from Hot Rod's hips, which is a bit unfortunate. That doesn't work too well. But he does have bicep swivel, 90-degree at the elbow, and a wrist rotation. So he has that. Again, no waist, but he does have full forward movement, a little bit to the back, 90-degree at the knee. He does have thigh swivel. He has a nice pivot at the ankle, forward, backward, quite posable. So yeah, this is a big Rodimus. Like, yeah, he's a huge Rodimus. This is the Rodimus Prime in Daniel's dream that fought the giant Galvatron. So, yeah, pretty much. But I do like him. He fits in somewhere. But for another comparison, let's put him with Titans Return Galvatron. And yeah, like I said, he's a bit out of scale with everybody else. I mean, he really should be about Galvatron's height. And yes, I prefer my Galvatron to be Voyager size, so this is pretty perfect the way he is. But it doesn't quite work for Rodimus. And we'll actually bring in some Rodimus Primes. We'll start off with Vans Project Protector. And yes, Rodimus Prime did use a similar trick for his arms that Protector does, with the parts of the trailer becoming the arms. Actually, the very same parts of the trailer became the arms, which is amazing. So, yeah, I guess Hasbro was actually taking notes on that guy. Or maybe not, it could be a coincidence, but we do have G1 Rodimus Prime, who's very thin and stick-like next to these other bulky guys. And just for fun, let's get the whole Rodapalooza going. So we got Titans Return Hot Rod, Legends Hot Rod, and of course G1 Hot Rod, because why not? And yeah, that is a lot of hot rods. I'm not getting MP09 down. Certainly not transforming him. I'm afraid he might break when I touch him, that's all. So, gotta keep that in mind. But this is still good. This is still pretty good. And I'm very happy with Rodimus Prime. I wish he was a little shorter so he could match up with Galvatron better. Or, actually, more accurately, I wish the Hot Rod bot was taller to match up with Galvatron better. Honestly, I still think Protector might stay my classic shelf Rodimus, although Rodimus Prime does match up a lot better than Protector as far as aesthetic goes. I will admit that much. But in any case, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. And I will see you next time. So until then, goodbye out there, whatever you are.